Welcome back, Wagoneers, to another exciting episode of the Wasted Wagons podcast. On this special episode of Uncovered, we have with us the UNO privateer left fielder Tristan Moore. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. I know you probably have an extremely busy schedule, so thank you for fitting us in.
I'm excited to be here.
All right, so before we even get into baseball, one interesting fact that I discovered about you is that you grew up in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Tell us what that experience was like.
It's very different. You know, I loved it there. You know, I learned a lot. You know, baseball there is super popular. It definitely helped me become the player I am today. You know, I learned a lot, and you know, I enjoyed it.
All right. You lived in St. Thomas?
Yeah, St. Thomas.
That's where you were born?
Yeah.
Man, that's
I was born in San Diego, but we moved there when I was like eight or 9.
Yeah.
And then I lived there until I graduated.
St. Thomas is beautiful. I've been there.
Beautiful.
Bunch of iguanas just
iguanas
like
everywhere.
crawling everywhere. Yeah.
A lot of talent, as they say.
Now, keep it to baseball. Staying on you, did you play any other sports other than baseball, or did you pretty much dedicate your entire time to baseball?
So I played in high school. I played a year of soccer, and then I played a year of volleyball. Okay. But besides that, mostly kept it baseball. You know, it was hard to do anything but baseball because it was year round, always doing something, whether it was travel ball or working out. It just nothing could ever, you know, take away from baseball.
So where does your baseball journey begin?
I mean, ever since I could watch a baseball game, I would say it began. You know, my parents always told me they think the reason I love it so much is because we would go to Padres games when I was a little tiny baby, and that's just where I fell in love. And you know, ever since I could walk, I had a bat in my hand.
So just out of curiosity, are you still a Padres fan to this day?
Yeah, 100%. Love them.
Yeah. They hit the guards tonight.
Yep. Swept the Braves though, so
yeah.
Good start.
Yeah, no good one.
It's funny, one of our pod members who's not with us tonight, named Russell, is sort of a Braves fan. That's the team he picked when we decided to pick our favorite top players for our favorite team. He said he watched a lot of them on TBS growing up as a kid, but he picked the Braves, although not necessarily being a real Braves fan. That's his team.
We put the fire to him and made him pick like his favorite 5 players, and like he literally just went on like Ranker.com and like picked like their top 5. He took their top 5, and he had a hilarious blunder like trying to pronounce Tom Glavine. So we told Coach that when we did the interview with him, and he got a laugh out of it. But he's getting into it now. He's not really a sports guy, but he's kind of starting to pick it up from hanging out with us and being on the pod like that though.
Yeah.
He would also really love the Jays that you're wearing.
Yeah, he would definitely enjoy that.
Yep.
All right, well, you mentioned travel ball, that you play travel ball. My son plays travel ball. Mike's kid plays travel ball. What are your thoughts on the travel ball circuit?
So for me, it was really important. You know, being in the Virgin Islands, there's not much people out there watching you. So being able to go off the island and play in front of those scouts and, you know, all those eyes was extremely important for me, being able to move on in my career. So, you know, I think it depends on, you know, who you play for, the coaches you have, you know, all that stuff. But I really do believe that it is something that's really important, and it can help you in a lot of ways.
Tristan, what advice do you have for kids in youth sports? Something that you've learned along the way and want to share with us today?
I would say just keep pushing. You know, baseball is one of the hardest sports to play. You know, you fail more than you succeed. So just being able to realize that and, you know, overcome the failure, you know, that's how you become great and you are able to succeed.
How big was your family support and everything? You know, bringing you to games, always having your back, always making sure you were where you needed to be, stuff like that?
I mean, my family did everything they could to make it possible. You know, they're spending money to get me off the island to Georgia, Florida, you know, all over the country, you know. So their support definitely made it possible for me to be where I am right now.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
I'm so grateful for everything they've done for me.
Good deal.
Is it hard or to get kind of discovered down in the Virgin Islands, or do you have to kind of go to the States and kind of showcase yourself there, or do they send scouts down to kind of look at you guys at a younger age, since it might be like an untapped kind of market or area?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so it was a mix of both. I had one of my coaches out there. His name is Darren Canton. He really helped me get the exposure that I needed. You know, he had all the connections, and he had guys come down to the Virgin Islands when they could, and then he also was able to set it up so I could go to Florida and Georgia and play in front of those scouts, which made it all happen. So it's a mix of both.
How big was it to get noticed? Like, how many kids, how many leagues, teams, how did y'all have down there?
So when I was in, so it goes 9 to 10. You know, you have the east and the west. So there's the east side of the island and the west side of the island.
Oh, okay.
And then you have that for 11 to 12 too. And then you go up, and then it's all kind of together. So there's not, I mean, when I was playing, there's not a whole lot of teams. There was probably like 5 or 6, and we'd all just play each other. And, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure y'all are all pretty equally talented if they're coming down there to pick from a crop like that.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. We definitely have a lot of guys who make it pretty far for how small the island is.
Yeah.
Like, we got a few guys who are in the minors right now and other big schools, so.
I see Jelani Rogers also
Yeah.
came from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, we
correct?
grew up together. We were ever since it was 10 years old, playing in our backyard, playing in my backyard, playing.
Did you have any input in getting him here?
I mean, so when I was here my junior year, they were trying to get him here the next year, and
Okay.
he went to Missouri instead. And so they were like, "Yo, try to get him here." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna try." And so then he ended up going there, and I was like, "All right." So then turned out I was coming back to New Orleans, and I texted him one day, and I was like, "What's going on? Like, how's it going?" And we were talking, and I was like, "Yeah." He asked me how was Houston and like what my plan was for the next year, and I was like, "I think I'm going back to New Orleans." And he was like, "No way, I'm going there too." And
Oh,
I was
nice.
like, "That's crazy."
So that was just like pure coincidence.
yeah,
Dang.
crazy.
Well, you spoke about talent. Obviously, some people have talent from day one. Some people work at it and get really good over time. My son kind of struggles a little bit with hitting. What advice do you have for kids? To actually go and play at your level. Right now.
So for me, I was never the strongest kid. I never was the most talented kid, but I always put in the work, and I always wanted to get better. So it's just having the want to get better and perfect your craft, and wanting to be better than everybody else. For me, it was just the motivation of I want to be better than this guy who's better than me right now, but he's not going to be better than me for long because I can outwork him. So just constantly working hard and not getting complacent or
get in there, train, drills every day. Okay.
Yep. You got to be consistent with it.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I think it's a testament to you, Coach. When we did the interview with him, that's one thing he said he wanted kids and guys that would come in and work and not have to be told to work.
Yeah.
And he specifically mentioned you by name as being a leader because you do put in a lot of work before and after the games, off days, things like that. So that's a kudos to you and a testament to working hard, and you can outdo the talent if you work hard enough in a lot of cases like that.
Yeah, it always ends up catching up. The talent, you can have talent, but if you don't work hard, it only gets you so far. It's the ones who are willing to work who will, succeed.
Tristan, what to talk about something else here? What is there's drip, right? All these kids are in a drip, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about drip in baseball, like chains and sleeves and all that stuff?
If you see me right now, I'm wearing 2 chains.
There you go.
Usually it's 3, but right now one of them snaps, so I'm wearing 2.
That one's getting
if you
repaired.
see me out on the field, I'm wearing elbow guard,
Sliding
wrist
mitt.
tape, sliding mitt.
Right.
I obviously like it a lot. I think it looks cool. And it also does suck when you get hit in the elbow or the shin.
True.
So there's definitely a place in baseball.
No,
for
there's
drip.
definitely a place, yeah. I mean, you kind of got to earn it, but
Right.
The same thing Coach Norris told us. Yep.
Yeah, I believe what Coach Norris said was that he would allow you to wear yellow batting gloves if you put up insane numbers.
White gloves.
The white batting glove.
White
No,
batting.
I think he said yellow.
Yeah, he said yellow for Tristan.
I think he said Tristan could wear whatever he wanted as long as he was hitting well and things like that. So,
But one thing I did want to add on Coach Norris, whenever he seems very excited to have you back this year. So that quite a testament to you as well.
I love Coach Norris. He's a great guy, and I'm happy that I can play under him and he can be my head coach.
Yeah, awesome.
kind of talking about the drip though, like you kind of mentioned it, talking about like you got to look good, feel good, play good. It's like the old Deion Sanders motto, and I'm sure that plays a part until if you're looking the part and you hit well like that, you usually play well. The confidence is a booster as well. Yeah. And it kind of just takes over to to all aspects of play there, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, when you look good, it's easy to be confident because you're like, I'm him,
Right.
I look good. I'm going to play good now too. So, and having that confidence in any aspect is super important for this game.
Sure. Now, kind of on the flip side, when you're going through, let's say, like a slump, do you change anything? Do you stay with what you got and or are you just like, hey, I know I trust my talent and my work. I'm going to break out of it, so I'm going to keep what I've got going. Maybe I put the chain inside a little bit if I'm having a struggle, but when I get back to where I'm going to be, where I am, it's coming back out.
Nah, I for sure change things up. Okay. So I'll be wearing a sleeve one day. If I get no hits with it, I'm going to wrist tape on both arms. If I don't get a hit with, a certain color of elbow guard, I'll switch to another one. It's just constantly trying, because I'm a superstitious guy. So I switch things up if it's not working. So if even with pregame, so if I drink an energy drink that gets me no hits, I have to change the energy drink because I feel like I'm not going to get a hit.
Now, you started the 2025 season in a little bit of a slump.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you rapidly broke out of it. I mean, we were watching you have a 120, and when it seemed like 2 weeks later, you were batting a 290.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was your mindset being in that slump, and how did you feel like you broke out of it?
Well, so, it's always tough because it's easy to get in the mindset of just you're constantly just getting out and you just feel defeated. The confidence isn't there. It's tough, and it's tough to break out of those. So being able to tell yourself, who cares? It doesn't matter what happened, the last few games. It happens what happens now is what matters, Being able to overcome the failure and the slump is how you turn it around is what's important, Yeah, it's definitely tough to get out of though, but
I'll bet.
I kind of want to go back to the superstition thing a little bit because I'm always intrigued about that. We've all played rec sports and things like that before on some level, obviously not to your level, but can you share any of your superstitions with us or just some of the simple ones that you...
So back to the energy drinks. I drink an energy drink before the game. Probably should dial it back on those a little bit. But
as you get older, you might want to.
But so I get a flavor, and if I don't get a hit with that flavor, I change it. And then if I don't get a hit with that flavor, I change the brand. And so it's just a constant cycle. So if I'm getting hits with this one drink, I'm drinking it every day.
Do you ever go back to any of the old ones?
I do. I circle back. So when I was struggling, I was drinking Monster and stuff and C4.
Okay.
And I was like, I gotta go back to my roots, and went back to Reign. So
Reign's good. The orange creamsicle Reign is delicious.
Creamsicle Reign.
Yeah, I've kind of realized that I kind of have to not like the energy drink to have it work.
So get the nasty flavor.
I got to get one that I'm not a huge fan of.
Interesting.
Sugar or zeros?
I get the zero. There's too much sugar
There
in
you
the
go.
other stuff.
Good man, yeah.
Now, this is kind of, I guess, piggybacking onto Drip. Your walk-up music. It's by, is it Denim or D-E-N-M?
No, that one's, I picked mine.
Landon McNamara?
Yeah, that's who it is, Landon McNamara. Wild Trip.
So how much thought goes into your walk-up music? Do you have a bunch of choices that you narrow down, or do you just listen to it on the radio one day and say, yeah, I want that one?
Well, for me, so it's kind of just you got to envision it. I close my eyes and I play the song and I'm like, is this going to be cool walking up to or not? And so that one sounded really cool when I was I had my eyes closed envisioning it,
So it makes you feel in slow motion. It's like, yeah, that's that
Yeah.
one.
When you're out in the field, like you listening to it and you're like
bobbing
getting
my
pumped,
head.
hyping, all that stuff.
helps me relax too.
Nice.
Do you ever think about maybe changing it up, or have you had the same walk up song for a consistent amount
So
of time now?
I did my junior year when I was here. I did an NBA YoungBoy song, which was a lot more intense and uptight. And I realized that I don't want to be tense and uptight when I'm going to the plate. So last year I did "Could You Be Loved" by Bob Marley,
Okay, there you
Oh,
go.
nice.
and then this year I did "Wild Trip." I kind of like the reggae,
Yeah.
That's what I was about to
reggae,
ask.
chill surfer vibe.
All right, now you attended Laurel Springs High School. From everything, when I was doing my research, is that a virtual school?
Yeah, that's a virtual school. So I did regular high school from freshman year to junior year, and then my senior year, it was kind of in a tough spot because I was going to Puerto Rico every weekend to play games and play in front of scouts.
Okay.
And so me and my parents decided that it was best if I just did virtual school, so
Gotcha.
that it would be easier to travel. I wouldn't miss school.
I was wondering if they had a high school team as a virtual school, but it seems like you were playing elsewhere.
Yeah, I was
and
playing,
attending the virtual school.
Yeah.
So
I was
you
playing
you would go from St. Thomas to Puerto Rico,
Yeah,
like
you
fly,
I'd hop
I'm
on
assuming?
a little propeller plane and go on a
Wow.
20-minute
Wow,
flight
man.
every
How cool
weekend.
is that?
It was pretty cool.
How far is that by plane?
20-minute flight, 30 minutes, so you just hop on it, hop off.
Nice.
Did you ever get scared on any of those little planes?
Yeah,
Or-
those things are scary. You start
sketch,
shaking
huh?
and you're like holding on to the seat
Like,
like,
I've never been on one, but I can relate.
yeah, not a fan.
All right. So, what can you tell us a little bit about what you're going back to when you first arrived at UNO? Not this year, but previously. What was that recruitment process like for you?
So it was tough. I was in JUCO. There was a lot of D2s, NAIs. New Orleans was my first D1 school,
Okay.
and so it was kind of like a thing where they gave me the opportunity, and I was like, you know what, let's go, let's do it. I don't know if I'm gonna get another opportunity, so
Sure.
got to capitalize on the ones you get.
Yeah. And at that point, you had met Blake Dean at the time.
He's actually not the one who recruited me.
Okay.
It was Coach Stu.
Oh, okay.
Who's not here anymore, but yeah. So I didn't meet Coach Dean until I stepped on campus.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool story.
Did you get to? So you said New Orleans was like one of your first choices you wanted to go to. Did you? What about the city or the university kind of brought you brought you in here?
I mean, I just thought it was something different and something cool. This is a place people want to go on vacation, and so I was like, you know what, like this seems like a cool place. The food.
I was gonna say you had some of the food, and the food kind of got you in.
It's old.
Really good. And they got all kinds. Like I love the food here.
I mean, how do you stay in shape eating this food? I mean, it's temptation all around you.
It's tough. It's definitely a struggle.
All right, so what does life look like as a collegiate student athlete?
So I wake up. It depends on the day. On Monday, Wednesday we have lift, and I lift at 8 a.m. So I wake up at like 7 a.m. Go to lift, come back, get some food, maybe take a 2-hour nap, hour and a half nap, get my energy back, then come back, go to practice at 2:30. Practice is over, go home, eat again, probably eat again after that, hang out for a little bit. And then
Now
go to
these
bed.
meals I'm taking are much different from like your touristy New Orleans.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've had steak the last 3 nights, so.
No, not bad.
But yeah, it's constantly on the go here. Yeah.
So when you're not here at Maestri Field, do you have any other hangouts around UNO's campus that you really like? Because
We
we're
go
all
to the
UNO
CAF,
grads.
The
Yeah.
CAF a lot. We go to
Okay.
the dining hall. That's where we all hang out a lot. Get food and hang out, talk.
No. Is the Cove still around? Man, we've been out here a long time. I know it's on the opposite end of the campus, but
Dude, you're aging us.
I know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. It was when I was here. I know it was when I was here, but I don't know about
Cove,
now.
Cove 2.0, because I mean, it didn't come back for a while after Katrina.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay. So the cafe and the UC.
Yeah, hang out over there.
Going back to some of the trainings and exercises you do, you want to share a little bit of, some of your routines that you do, like for your position?
Yeah. So I try to not do too much, because if I do too much, I start to think. And when I think is when it goes downhill. So I just do. So when it comes to hitting, I just do flips routine. Like I go no stride, then I do just regular flips. I do like 3-4 rounds, and then I'll do some BP. Sometimes I'll mix a machine. And then with outfield, shagging during BP is really important, because that's where you can get the most realistic reads.
Okay.
And that's daily or just
That's daily, every day.
Yeah.
Don't miss a day of it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been paying off for you, especially as far as this year. I mean, I don't think I've seen you miss anything out in the outfield on the games we've watched. So pretty impressive.
Hopefully it can stay like that.
Yeah. Hopefully, I hope I didn't jinx you.
How often are you in the cage out there? Every day?
Every day.
Right.
Every day.
Is it most people find it's pretty relaxing, but also some of the most fun they have. Do you enjoy like the cage work or?
Yeah, I definitely do. Baseball is kind of my sanctuary. It helps me relax and get away from life. If I have stuff going on, just coming to the field and getting to be with all the guys and hanging out helps me just, get back to a good place.
Kind of on the topic of the guys, what do you guys do when you're not at the field playing, practicing like that, or having a game? What do you do for fun outside of that?
Other than eating.
We're playing MLB The Show, playing 2K.
There you go.
Some Fortnite, hanging out at guys' house. We're always hanging out. Just stuff like that.
So I like how you referred to baseball as a sanctuary. To me, I don't think there's very much that's more peaceful and calming than going to watch a baseball game.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's a good time. You get to turn your phone off for 2-3 hours. You sit back. You can watch a game. You get a couple of dogs and beers and stuff like that. Cheer on your team like that. Yeah, it's definitely a good place to spend a Friday night or any night of the week really like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you got a beautiful view, outfield wall with the levee, the lake behind it.
I don't think it gets much better than that. Sunset sometimes.
Have you been to a lot of major league parks?
I have. There was a point in time when I was younger where we went on a road trip and hit up a few parks, and it was pretty cool.
Do you have a favorite?
Petco Park.
Petco.
Yeah.
Petco. I mean, I might be biased.
No, it's absolutely
it doesn't
beautiful.
get better than Petco Park. Just the vibes and San Diego fans. It doesn't get better.
Yeah, look, I'm an Orioles fan. My son's name is Camden, so I'm a little bit biased. I think Camden Yards is the best. I just love how it's built in that warehouse district.
Yeah,
with
that
the
is
warehouse
pretty
behind
cool.
it. Just every time I go there, I'm amazed at just how beautiful the structures and the stadium is in general.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely unique. I like fields that have unique things about them.
Well, I think that's what sets baseball apart from a lot of the other professional sports. I mean, if you go in a dome, it's kind of or an arena, it kind of looks the same. Where you go to baseball parks, they usually have their own amenities that kind of set themselves apart.
Different dimensions too.
Yeah.
Or just the characteristics. You have like the big green wall,
Right.
like that. You don't see that in different stadiums. They're just a certain shape like that. But a lot of them all have character to them. Like hell, you got a view of the lake and the lakefront out here right behind left field like that. So it's a pretty cool looking view.
For sure.
Well, they all have their skylines, right? The outfield, like in St. Louis has the arch as part of it, and you're sitting there watching a game and the freaking arch is right there in front of you.
Yep.
It's crazy.
What a beautiful park that is. By the way.
Pat's a Cardinals.
Oh, yeah,
fan.
somebody's biased over here.
I'm sorry.
Now, Travis asked you this question out in the parking lot. So let's just say you are currently a business administration major. So let's just say after your playing career ends, what are your plans after baseball?
I'm gonna be real. I have no clue. I'm on Plan A right now, and if Plan A doesn't work out, I guess I'll figure out Plan B. But until then, it's Plan A all the way.
You're at a table with two high school counselors. So, I mean, it's always important to have that backup plan.
Absolutely.
Don't listen to them. I switched careers 5 years ago and it was the best.
Yeah.
I need to get the hell out of here I've ever did. So that's fine. Take your time. Enjoy playing baseball. Try to play as long as you can.
No, for sure. I'm definitely gonna ride it out.
Well, look, we're gonna follow you through here. We're gonna follow you after, and look, we wish you the best of luck with that for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't make it sound like a stalker though. we'll get to that in a second.
Where you UNO, all UNO alums here. So
Except one.
I didn't say it, man. I didn't do that to you.
Now, in 2023, you won the Southland Hitter of the Year. So was there any doubt in your mind that you were going to win? How did you feel when you won it, winning such a nationally acclaimed award like that?
I mean, I was shocked when I won it. You know, I wasn't really expecting it because, you know, there's always other guys doing great stuff out there. So, you know, knowing that it was me being the guy who was doing that, you know, it's a crazy feeling, and it's a feeling of like, you know, wow, I did that, and it's cool. But it's always on to the next year though.
Yeah.
So you said I was excited about it, and I was happy I won it, but I want more, you know.
Yeah.
So where do you have that award right now?
It was in our living room. It might be on our fridge right now. I'm not completely sure. It was on my girlfriend's fridge for a while.
All right. So like he mentioned, you know, you win in the 2023 Hitter of the Year. Are you looking to repeat this year?
I mean, definitely, 100%.
Because you know, looking at a couple of your teammates in Callaway and Lariga, you know, having some really good numbers too. So.
Definitely. I mean, if they beat me, they beat me, and I'm 100% happy for them. But
Good,
I mean, of course, I want to win it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, if they won it, I mean, I would want them to win it if anybody else was to win it.
I mean, watching you guys hit the 3, 4, 5 in the lineup, it's to me that's something pretty special. That's the time in the line when I'm watching the UNO games on TV that I start to get excited. Like, oh, yeah, this is one where these balls might leave the park.
Yeah,
here.
for
So,
sure. I mean, that's a pretty exciting spot right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3,
It's
4,
awesome.
5 right there.
I mean,
You know, we
you
got
got-
Bryce Callaway who can hit it 500
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, you guys can definitely mash.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any kind of like bets, or kind of like do you like kind of root each other on to try to who wants to compete for trying to be the best hitter on the
I
team
mean,
or win the award?
We're
Or
definitely always going back and forth on who's going to win it, and, you know, all that.
like any like in game like talk about like, hey man, you went over one like that, you losing behind, you falling behind.
I mean, I'll hit a home run. I'm like, yo, I'm catching you. You better hurry up and start hitting more. I'm gonna catch you. But no, we're constantly doing that to each other.
Keeping tabs on like on each other's stats,
Yeah,
you kind of
no,
know where
for
each
sure.
other is and kind of go
Yeah,
from there.
yeah.
Okay.
And if they say they're not paying attention to it, they're
They're
lying.
There you go. I was about to say every professional athlete. Oh, I don't think about that, and it's like,
No,
yeah,
they're
they know when they're
definitely-
1 yard away from
Yeah.
300 or something
Yep.
like that. You know,
it's just the right thing to say.
yeah, yeah. Got to say what the media wants to hear. You know.
So Patrick and I have a wager. I bet before the season
right.
started that. Go ahead.
Let's put the disclaimer in now because I don't want you to get me in trouble with the host or the guest on this podcast thinking that I'm rooting against it.
We're not rooting against you. I mean, we're all UNO alums here, except one. And
-1.
Thank you, guys.
So, simple backstory, as Todd's kind of explaining, Todd's a big fan of yours.
Yeah.
He's you and Mitchell Sanford. That's all you guys are his favorite players and this and that. It's been a thing. So we kind of just came with an idea of like, let's just do a bet for Tristan and see if he's going to win it this year. So not that I'm pulling against you, but since you're his guy, I was like, fine, you can pick him and you can have him as your favorite to win. I'll take the field per se. So if you don't win it this year, Todd has to do a shot of my choosing like that. But if you win it, I have to do a shot of whatever he's going to make for me. I got a feeling it's probably going to be some sort of like eggnog kind of concoction or whatever.
Now I got to do it.
he's probably gonna do.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna put like cyanide. in mine.
I wish I could.
Yeah, Patrick's definitely getting eggnog. That's for sure. Something with eggnog.
Yeah, something like
Oh,
that.
fucking right.
But no, we all kind of tuned in. We watched the games. We were here opening for the opening home series like that.
Yeah.
We're definitely rooting for you like that. We definitely like to see any of you guys win it. But we put a little skin in the game, kind of like you guys are trying to do like that. But I had to let him take you as his pick. So I'm rooting for you, even though I'm going to have to do probably a pretty disgusting shot. But if that's what it takes for you to win it, and that's how it goes out, I'm good with it.
It'll be well worth it.
Yeah, sure. I just don't like it, but we'll do it. I'll do it for the cause.
All right. So last season you played at the University of Houston, but you suffered a season-ending injury. What type of injury was that?
It was an oblique tear, so
Wow.
I tore my oblique. Definitely was not a fun one.
Sure. Doesn't sound like
do
it.
a lot of stuff, and it was definitely some of the most pain I've ever felt in my life. I'm glad I was able to get the year back though, which was big time.
Awesome.
But,
How did it happen on a swing or?
so we were hitting BP one day, and I took a swing, and it started to like get sore, and I was like, I just tweaked something, like it's whatever. So I was like trying to stretch it, and
Yeah.
so then the next day, I was taking an at bat, and I swung at a fastball, and it popped.
Oof.
And so I was like, that did not feel good.
Got all
There's
purple
something
and
wrong
everything,
here.
and you
Yes,
started
I was
seeing
like,
it,
there's
yeah.
something wrong
Mhm.
here. So then I took another swing after that.
Just got to make sure. You know.
Yeah, I had to make sure that it was actually, bad. So I took a swing, and
It was bad.
it was
It was
really
bad.
It was like I dropped the bat in the box and walked straight to the training room. It was pretty excruciating.
Maybe it'll
pain.
pop back into place. Okay?
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe he knows what's going on.
This sounds like guys being guys, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It was really, really painful.
So what was the rehabilitation process like?
So there's not really much you can do for it except for trying to strengthen the muscles around it. So it was a lot of core exercise and stuff, and resting, a lot of rest. So I wasn't going to practice. I wasn't lifting. I wasn't even going to the games. I was just at home resting.
And I'm sure that was like a tough process. Like you wanted to be out there and one play, but also be with the guys in your team. But it's kind of best you got to take care of your body and get.
I mean that's
try to
that's
get
what
right.
that's what our head coach told me. He was like, I want you to get healthy before you come back. So just focus on getting healthy. Don't worry about coming to practice or lifting or any of that. Just work on your rehab and getting back. So I was able to get back. And
How long was it till you could get into rehab and start working on it and not just sitting around healing?
Right after the injury, he was able to do he was massaging me. Our trainer gave me massages and stuff, which helped. But it was like 2 weeks before I was even able to go in there and start doing the core exercise.
Okay, well, it's not
And
not
it
like
was-
months, but
It was very minimal, so it was very 5 reps of some core exercise.
right,
But,
right.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the University of Houston differed from your time here at UNO?
It was definitely a bigger school. It had the bigger school vibe to it. There's a football team. The basketball team is really good.
They're in the Final Four right now.
Yeah. Here you feel more at home, though. I will have to say you feel more at home. You feel like, these guys are all in my corner.
Right.
They're not going to leave me out to dry compared to where at Houston, I kind of felt like I was by myself out there. But here I have,
Camaraderie.
Coach Morris, yeah, everybody's here to back you, and everybody cares, and there's no better feeling than that.
Nice. Well, again, we're glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
I think UNO is definitely a place, being a small school, that kind of everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
If you walk into a certain room, I think most people we know who some of the star baseball players are, the basketball team, things like that. So whereas in Houston, it's a much bigger city, first of all, and school and campus like that, it's easy to kind of maybe be forgotten or just not really as noticed, which some people love. That might want to be their thing, but. Here, it's a much smaller community, probably much more tight knit and things like that. The alumni are closer, and you see in the stands, a lot of the alumni are the big drivers from that. So being home, I think probably felt great as well.
Yeah,
You'd be back in smaller, a much more tight knit community. I imagine.
Yeah, it's way easier to succeed too when you're feeling like you're at home and you're comfortable with the people who are in your corner. So I'm definitely super happy to be back.
Okay. Now, a couple of years ago when you were here, you played for Coach Blake Dean.
Yep.
And now you're playing for Coach Dax Norris. What's that transition been like?
I mean, it's been super smooth, Coach Norris was here when I was here, so, I knew him.
Yeah.
We worked together, and, I love Coach Norris. He's a great coach. He knows what he's talking about. He's, had the experience. So the transition was actually really easy,
Good.
So, I mean, there's no better pick for the head coach than him.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we enjoyed having him on here.
Yeah,
so
we're,
that was
we're
awesome.
certainly fans of him.
He's a great guy. You got to love him.
Yeah, Coach. He seems like he would just kind of sit back and shoot the shit with you anytime like that.
Yeah.
But if you walked into his office for any time of the night, day or night, like that, he'd sit down and have a kind of good conversation with you and
for
kind of
sure.
walk you through and kind of help you out. Whether it's like a school related thing or personal or a play on the field like that, he seems like the kind of guy he would be very embracing, kind of bring and talk to you, and like almost like a father would.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely a player's coach. I feel like I could go talk to him about anything at any point of time, no matter if it's 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. He's always there and willing to help us, which is something that
Do y'all get help with school if need be
Yeah,
to get through classes and things
we
like
have,
that?
a staff that is willing to help us succeed in every way possible.
Right.
Which is
It's like, not to
that's
put the
rare.
school thing on the back burner, but I know a lot of schools focus more on the sports than academics, but you still have to, you're still here. We're still at school.
Well, so you have to pass to
Right,
play.
exactly,
So it's like
yeah.
we're doing it. They're doing everything they can to help us succeed in every aspect. You
Yeah.
know, whether it's school, baseball. So
How does that compare, the classes that you do take? Like, how often do you go, and like what is the workload like compared to your practice?
so
You know?
I'm all online, so I don't even have to go.
Oh, okay.
So
There you go.
I got it super easy. But and the classes I'm taking are not super hard. I get assignments due Friday and Sunday, so I know when they're due, and I can do them whenever. It'll take me like an hour to do all of them, so it's actually pretty
Hey.
easy, and it makes it a lot easier to perform on the baseball field.
I'll say more time to go hit, more time to play a little video games.
Yep.
Tristan, going back to coaches, obviously not Coach Norris, but have you ever had any bad coaches in your lifetime, and what made them bad? And please don't feel
no names.
obligated
No
to
names.
answer names or anything. You can be as vague as you want, but I think
But if you want to give names,
if you do, that's up to you. It's up
If
to
you want
you.
to slander somebody, go ahead.
I don't know if I should slander.
No.
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 Obviously, from your look, you have had a bad coach. in your
I
lifetime.
definitely have. I'm not gonna say when. Or
No, you don't have to.
what coach it was, but I definitely have had a bad coach, and it makes it a lot harder to succeed and perform. Yeah.
Do you find
that's all Tristan's got to say about that.
do you find like the coaches like they're like ones that do a lot of like yelling and things like that, or they're like overly critical of their players, or maybe they ride their players a bit too hard? Is that something that kind of goes and factors into? I know every player is different. Some people like that bit of like tough kind of discipline, things like that. Some people don't need to be talked to like that, or don't want to. And you got to kind of find like a balancing act, I guess, of what works best for your team and your individual players. I'd have to imagine.
Oh yeah, I mean when a coach is sitting there screaming at you the whole game, it makes it tough. You got to have a balance. I feel like having a coach who's not scared to tell you how it is and get on you is really important. But having a coach who's also screaming at you every move you make is also very important. It's not
Not a good
productive
thing.
in any
You're right.
way. So having that balance, but I mean, as a player, you got to learn how to have it go through one ear and out the other.
Compartmentalize it, yeah.
Because it's just tough. There's nothing you can do about it except for just eat it and move on. So, yeah.
Kind of like, you ever had a coach like kind of yell at you about maybe something like about a play you made or didn't make or something like that, and let's say in your next at bat you come up and smoke a ball, hit a triple or hit a home run, and then in your mind you're like, that's right, I got it, like that, yeah, well, whatever, like that, like coach over here riding my ass like that. What about that? I just did that.
And no, I've definitely had that. I've definitely. I feel like it's impossible to not have a moment where you're like, I showed him.
Yeah,
Right.
You know.
Shut up, old man. I can see what I can. Like, leave me alone. I can do. I can
Yeah.
do this.
No, it's definitely impossible to not have moments like that.
Take any liberties every once in a while. Like, they tell you to take it, and then you hit one out the park, and it's like, well, I saw the opportunity, coach.
Have you ever gotten in trouble with a coach from a home run celebration? Like maybe took it a little bit too far, or you were super jacked up in the moment, and you just wanted to celebrate, and you had the joy. When the coach got back, and you're like, "Hey, man, tone it down just a little bit."
I actually have not gotten in trouble with that. I try to not showboat too much. I definitely do it sometimes, but I feel like when I do it, it's prompted, and I try to not overdo it. There was times in JUCO where I probably overdid it a little bit, and I probably shouldn't have done it like that, but I try to keep it to a minimal because the baseball gods are always watching.
You don't want to.
They're real. They're real.
And you don't want to wear one the next time you have to
I
play
mean-
if you show off a little bit.
I'll wear one. Just it's OBP's going up.
I mean, I think I saw you have like 6 or 7 hit by pitches so far this season.
Something like
it's
that.
up there. I saw that. I was
It's
like, damn,
not fun,
he's
but-
taking them. So yeah, you definitely need the right.
Right drip.
It's definitely not fun, but
No, I don't know.
I'll take it for the team. Sometimes you got to just wear it.
right, so this is a question that I also asked Coach Norris, and he was kind of like being a little humble about it, but don't hold back if you need to. When you get a win, is there any team that y'all beat that gives you the greatest satisfaction? That could be like a big school like LSU, or is there a division rival or a conference rival that you really enjoy beating?
So Tulane is definitely a school that we enjoy beating, along with Southeastern. It sucks that we weren't able to do it, this series. But those two are definitely ones that are really exciting to beat.
Good. Any reason why? Is it just for the cups or
the Pelican?
The cups are definitely a factor in it, but for some of the guys, it's definitely deeper than just the cup.
Okay.
And for me, it's deeper than just the cup. It's this is our city.
Okay. So you're playing for the city. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Who has the better Mardi Gras jerseys? You guys or Tulane? I think I know your answer, but
Definitely.
I just wanted it on record. Just
definitely
you guys are better. But they all look good. It's super cool that they embrace kind of like the NBA does, like City Connect uniforms and things like that, and the MLB does as well. The Mardi Gras jersey, it's iconic. The colors, the scheme like that. And you guys pulled it off this year. It's great. I bought a hat.
Do you want to disclose how much you paid for it?
$50.
50-ish, yeah.
Just kind of normal for hats nowadays.
I walked up. She told me the price. I thought about it, and I was like, "Well, here's a credit card. There we go." And I wasn't going to back down. And when she already told me, she had my stuff there. I was like, "Give me the hat. I'm gonna wear it all during Mardi Gras anyway." But that's neither here nor there. But I got the hat though.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mardi Gras, what's your opinion on Mardi Gras?
It's definitely fun. It's different. I've never experienced anything like it. But, we were on the road that weekend, and then we came back, and that Monday we went to a parade as a team. So that was a pretty fun experience.
Where did they take y'all downtown? And
so one of the guys, Colin Loop, his uncle rented a lot.
Nice.
And we all just hung out down there. A lot of fun.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm taking it that was Orpheus, huh? The parade y'all went to?
I think so. I'm not sure. They said come, and I was like, all right.
I'm there.
Colin went to Jesuit, which is the same school I graduated from.
Yeah.
Like that. And we have a big presence at Orpheus, the parade for that. So I was assuming it was an Orpheus Monday, which is a great parade, a good time. Colin,
it was definitely a lot of fun.
They that whole group that does that, they know how to party. They know how to host and have a good time as well.
Great people, love them.
Now, before we move on entirely from the jersey talk, I'm going to give Megan Steinmetz a little bit of a shout out. We were walking through the locker room, and what jersey did you say was your favorite one, Tristan?
The pinstripes, for sure. Hands down my favorite jersey of all time. Definitely one of one. And
I have to agree. I think as far as like them looking the cleanest, I'd have to go with the pinstripes.
So Coach Norris, if you're listening and you can provide the Wasted Wagons with some pinstripe jerseys, we're here.
Wow, just
if there's any extra lying around,
I mean, all we can do is.
What do you want to take his game worn jersey? What's wrong with
all
you?
you can do is say no.
I said any extra lying around.
Say no.
Somebody did not wear them.
I have another kind of confidence and drip kind of question for you. What do you get more joy out of? Hitting home run or like robbing a home run?
Definitely hitting a home run.
Okay.
I believe there's no better feeling than hitting a ball over the wall and getting to trot those bases. Definitely one of the best feelings you can have.
Okay. I was very because I had no idea where you were going with that. But imagine I gotta imagine taking a home run away from someone is probably pretty damn cool too.
No, yeah, for sure. That is definitely. When I was like 11 or 12, when me and Jelani were playing against each other, I robbed one of his home runs. Way back in the day.
Jelani, if you're listening,
we'll have him on next maybe and see if we can have a discussion about that.
Do you have any best catches being a left fielder? Going over the wall, catching one foul, or jumping up above the wall or anything?
I've had a few. There's a not top 10 catch I had, and it wasn't a catch. I went through the wall at Texas.
Okay.
I went through the wall. It was a home run by like 20 feet.
Oh, jeez.
Just
And
misjudged.
I was running back, and I went through the wall.
I got this one, and all of a sudden,
And all of a sudden, boom, there's the wall in my face.
So, what? Another kind of sports question for you. What do you find is like the hardest pitcher to deal with? Someone that let's say, throws mid-high 90s all the time and just peppers the fastballs in, or let's say a guy that's got really good command and he has multiple pitches where he can throw a breaker or a slider and things like that, or a guy that can maybe just like dot the corners wherever he wants like that? What do you feel is the hardest to deal with? Just in maybe not so much specific for you, but like is in the game of baseball, I guess in general.
So I would say with guys who throw hard and they just try to throw fastballs by you, eventually you can catch up to it. So you might not get him the first at bat, but the second at bat, you know it's coming because all he's throwing is fastballs. When it comes to the guys who are dotting pitches and throwing breakers and mixing it up, those guys are pretty difficult to catch up to because you don't know what's coming at any point in time. Especially the guys who can throw a curveball or slider in a 3-0 count or whatever and flip it in there for a strike. Those guys are tough to get hits off of and face.
Now, we're living in a college athletic world where NIL deals seem to be like the big thing going on. Have you had any NIL opportunities?
When I was at Houston, I had some. Here I've had a little bit. I definitely have not put myself out there as much as I could have, which I probably should. Get some money when I can.
Well, why not?
But how does the process work?
It all just depends. So at Houston, they hooked me. They were the ones who set it up for me. They hooked me up with this company. It's like a nonprofit to help, kids in Houston. And so we'd go do events. We'd go.
I gotcha.
We'd go to like elementary schools and give them food and hang out and meet them all. And then here I've had people DM me asking me to, push their product for them or.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to name names or anything.
I mean, maybe there's an opportunity that there's a local podcast that could need a celebrity.
The Wasted Wagon.
That's very possible. We'll have our PR people reach out to your PR people and see if there's anything we can do to mutually help each other.
I've been told we can pay in bourbon. I don't know.
We can talk about what he likes to drink off air, I'm sure.
How does it compare here to Houston? I'm assuming Houston's a bigger school, so you got more offers and things like that? Or,
No, yeah,
or
I
it was
mean,
pushed more?
Yeah,
or?
they definitely have a lot of NIL opportunities because they get those donors who
Right.
are willing to give money and give opportunities. Not that here doesn't.
Right.
It's just that there's more there because it's such a big
Bigger the school,
and-
bigger the name, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have more sponsors and things like that, people, yeah.
So we're coming on April Fools, right? Okay, what this is not scripted here, so what kind of prank would you play on your coach? Because we're trying to figure this out for our coach on my son's team. We're trying to play a really big prank on him. What would your prank be?
I don't.
We won't let Coach Norris hear this, so don't worry. Don't feel bad. We're not going to send it to him and be like, oh, Tristan's coming to get you.
I don't know. It's tough because I
Would
definitely
you
have to
fake
do,
an injury or something like
So he loves Mountain Dew. So it'd have to do with some with Mountain Dew.
I saw it in the
I don't
fridge over
know.
there.
I don't know
Put like a
what we could
laxative
do
in
with
his-
it, but like some with his Mountain Dew because he loves his Mountain Dew.
Maybe replace it with something else that's
Coke?
on
Replace it with Coke.
Well, no, you see the color. Maybe put me like a different like
or an energy
flavored
drink,
soda,
maybe
like
different energy drink.
Fill him up with like yellow Gatorade or
that.
something.
Oh yeah, there you go. Do you guys play a lot of pranks on each other? Just in your, and you guys are close. Do you guys like have any kind of like? Is there a prankster on the team and that keeps the guys loose, or in the locker room, or during the game, or if you have like a rain delay or something like that?
We don't do a whole lot of pranks. We'll like mess with each other, but not like pranks like that, But it would be fun to start doing pranks on each other. Might cause some fights, but
Giving you some
Who cares?
ideas.
We can work them out. I think we're getting closer towards the end. I think I have one last professional question for you like that. What's an area of your game that you've probably worked at the most over the last couple of years? And what's an area maybe it could be the same that you want to improve more? That you can improve on everything, but what do you really, really want to focus on and getting better through the course of this season and maybe in the next step of your baseball career?
An area I really want to get better at is my outfielding. I feel like I spend so much time in the cage that it's, I feel comfortable at the plate no matter what the situation is and how I'm feeling. Even if I'm struggling, I still feel comfortable at the plate because I spent so much time working on it. Definitely working on outfielding though. It's something that's tough because it's hard to get those reads in practice because it's so different when you're in the game getting a fly ball or getting a hard line drive. So figuring out how to get more of those game-like reads in practice and getting better jumps and getting better angles and all that.
All right, so towards the end of every episode that we do another little separate segment that we called in no particular order. And this is where you rank your top 5 favorite of the idea that we suggest. And of course, since you're a baseball player, we're going to give you the same exact topic that we gave to Coach Norris. So can you rank, whether in an order or in no particular order, your top 5 favorite baseball players of all time?
And hold on, you can have a couple of honorable mentions. Patrick has an unwritten rule that it can be 2 or 3. But you can't go top 10. That's
It
just
makes me seem
uncalled
like
for.
I'm the hard ass, and I'm really not. I just, whatever. Go
But
ahead.
it's up to you. If you want to do 5.
You're the guest. You can list as many as you want. Go ahead.
So definitely Khalil Green, who's a shortstop for the Padres.
Yeah.
Growing
Remember
up,
him?
I loved watching him play. I don't know if it was because he had long hair like
Right,
me or
right.
what, but something about watching him play I loved. Definitely Mike Trout.
Okay.
Mike Trout just watching him play is something else.
He's a handsome fella too.
That's Mike's guy.
Is he?
Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey is definitely
Best swing in baseball?
definitely try to replicate his swing.
I was going to ask, is there a player that you kind of emulate or you try to model some of your game after? Would it be Ken Griffey?
A little bit, but not really. I like Christian Yelich. He's
Yeah.
somebody.
He's one of my guys.
Yeah, I'll put that at number 4. He's somebody who I've enjoyed watching play. Who's number 5?
All right, so you had Khalil Green, Ken Griffey,
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout,
Trout.
Christian Yelich.
and I'll go.
So you're a good bit younger than us.
This
so
is
like
this is number 1, like your top player, or when you say number 5,
I kind of know order.
you went low to high.
Yeah,
Or?
that's fine. You don't have to have an order. We're not very stickler for the guest.
I don't know. I like Derek Jeter. Derek
Yeah.
Jeter is.
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shortstop.
I like the obscurity of Khalil Green though. That was pretty awesome.
That's he's just somebody I've enjoyed watching.
Sure.
So if you had to pick one as your top choice, would it be Khalil Green?
I'd probably like Mike Trout or
Okay.
Ken Griffey, one of those guys.
All right.
We ask these questions to everybody we interview. Don't ask me why.
we can give you a little backstory.
No, we don't
As
need
we're
to.
going.
We don't need to. Just,
So, silly questions, yes or no, and you can elaborate as much or as little as you want. All right. Pumpkin spice or chips and salsa?
You have to pick one or the other.
Chips and salsa. All day.
Chips and salsa.
All day.
yes.
So you're opposed to pumpkin spice, or
I'm not opposed to it, but chips and salsa.
like
definitely-
fall time comes around?
I like
you
how
know,
Mike
like-
always
still-
says the fish.
He really
like
really
you can't
tries
take
hard to
no
get
for an
somebody
answer.
on this pumpkin spice thing, and it's a simple. Everyone that says chips and salsa is like, it's
Pumpkin
chips and salsa. Like what?
It's
what,
usually the
what more do
reaction
you
of
need?
why are we comparing these? Yeah.
It's a weird backstory thing. It's like it started.
It evolved from an argument between he and his wife chose the chips and salsa. He chose.
And it's like, did you have the same kind of reaction? Every guest is like, if it was like maybe like chips and guac versus chips and salsa, like, okay, I can get it. Like, these two things don't even make sense. Why the hell are we comparing them? But here we are.
Here we are.
So yeah,
kind of
we,
our
just,
slogan
we have
at
to
this point.
we have to ask now.
All right, next one is bagel bites or pizza rolls?
Pizza rolls
Pizza rolls?
Pizza rolls.
All right. Okay.
with some ranch.
Specific
With
ones?
ranch?
Specific,
see-
like Totino's, like
Yeah,
pizza
it's-
rolls?
yeah.
but
But
Totino's.
he's a kid, but he's a college guy. Pizza rolls are.
That's like our
that's
whole
like-
diet.
They don't like it because it burns the
Yeah, I
tongue.
mean, it's like a heat gusher.
It is. It does get pretty hot. Sometimes I
lava
just
pop.
bite it.
They're just not man enough or patient enough to get through it. It's,
You just gotta accept it.
It's worth. Thank you. You just gotta accept it. It's
Bagel
worth.
bites?
the
Hey,
wait.
Bagel bites are pretty damn good.
That
man.
ranch might be a game changer.
The
Cold
ranch?
ranch, like
Yeah.
out the bottle,
Yeah.
because there you go.
Cools it down a little bit too.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Look at that.
Nice.
How many pizza rolls you think you guys could put down in the night?
Woofing.
If like you don't have a game, you're on an off weekend.
I
It's a Friday night.
I could probably put down a whole bag.
Like Sam's
Get 'em
bag?
from
or
Sam's,
like-
yeah.
Like the big.
Yeah,
60
they make
count.
those- Don't they make
Usually
like a
I
250
half the
count?
bag anyways, so
All right. I know you're a fan of energy drinks, but if you had to choose Coke or Pepsi,
I'd probably Pepsi.
There we go.
Yeah.
okay.
Probably
That's
All
what.
right.
That's actually
That's
what I have
fair.
right here.
It's
So.
fair. I'm drinking Coke right now.
I mean, I have a Coke back
It
there.
was
but-
next to something.
Just
I have a
Coke.
Coke,
Just Coke, Mike.
Just
yeah.
Coke. Well, that's good. Thank you for answering those. They're
There's
fun,
one more I
fun
want to
questions.
add, and I
Oh,
think
go
we should
ahead.
probably make this one a staple on here as well. Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
Ooh.
Probably Street Fighter.
Okay, now which character would you choose while
It's
playing
been
Street
a, it's
Fighter?
been a while since I've played any of those games.
And when we say that, which generation of like OG Street Fighter? Are you talking like Marvel vs. Capcom or something like that? Or
We're
Probably-
definitely aging ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one I played was probably OG, so
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Respect
haven't
the
played
classics.
those games in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Street Fighter for sure.
Do you remember a character you used a lot on them, or?
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Man, I feel old.
God, we are old, man.
All right. Well, and then we're coming down to the close of this. Is there anything that you would like to add before we close out, as far as anything you would like to say to the audience?
Thank you for having me. I had a blast. This is my first podcast, so thank you for having me.
Well, Patrick does a pretty good job of getting these out pretty quick, so
Really?
I'll definitely let you know.
Probably about maybe a week or so. We should have it out. We got some stuff going on. We're going to be at Hogs for the Cause over the weekend. If I don't know if you've ever been to that. It's
I
definitely.
haven't. I have not.
If you want to grub out, it's definitely worth going. It's right there in your backyard. It's
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday during the day. It's definitely worth checking out. A lot of, if
I
your
wish I
barbecue's your
could.
thing,
We're going to McNeese this weekend.
Oh.
at least
I wish I could go, but
kick their ass though.
Yeah, beat the Cowboys.
If you can't have good barbecue, then go ahead and kick
go
McNeese's
win
ass.
some
but
games for sure.
Please
And then
do.
Y'all have Southern at home on tomorrow,
Yeah,
correct?
yep, tomorrow, 6:30, I think.
Yeah. So look, if you can't make it out to the maze, you can catch it on ESPN Plus.
I was going to say I have darts tomorrow, but I'm gonna have to skip that. And sick. Gotta go to the ball field.
There you go.
Yeah, look, I was contemplating going if Camden's practice somehow gets canceled. I'll be out here.
All right, sounds good.
But I mean, we've enjoyed having you. We're definitely gonna try to have Coach Norris on sometime soon again. But if you'd ever want to be a guest,
No,
you're
for
happy
sure.
to.
Let me know. And
It's
I'm
been entertaining. It's been a lot of
I'm
fun.
definitely in
I
for
know
it.
we have more questions for you to maybe on a much deeper level, but this is very much a getting to know you kind of introduction kind of thing. So you kind of get to know what we're about, and we get to know a little bit about you, and hopefully everyone listening and watching will get to see it as well. This will
For
be on
sure.
YouTube and all of that. So
Yeah. No, definitely let me know, and I'll be back on in a heartbeat.
that's music to Todd's ears. Did you know that you are dubbed the baddest dude on the planet?
Oh, I'm glad that I have that time.
Well, it was Mitchell Sanford's last year, but he was the previous baddest dude on the planet in 2023, and now he's back.
Well, I'm
Sounds
glad
like
I could take
we
it
need to
back.
get a trophy made. You know?
Or
You put
just
it
a
next to your
t-shirt.
Southland Hitter of the Year trophy.
We
Put that
typically
on, put that
will-
on top of your fridge. The Todd Olivier, baddest man on the planet. And everybody's like, who's Todd Olivier? Trust me, he's a real well-respected podcaster.
Random podcast.
this old guy with a podcast.
He's a well-respected media mogul.
We all fair. We'll get your t-shirt size. We should have a little package as a thank you we put together for all our guests. We'll do something a little special for you and for your shirt and some other things like that for you. But I know for me, it's been a pleasure to sit down and talk to you and just do the interview and have you here and just kind of talk ball with us and things like that. Hopefully we get to do it again.
Yeah, for
and maybe do some more in depth, like just baseball related things. You seem like a kind of guy that likes to talk about the game, and you love the game. So I'm sure we could find a lot of common ground to just talk baseball, because we're all baseball fans. first and foremost, that's our number one sport probably, I'd say, for all of us. So, well, second for me, but soccer's the thing. That's my thing.
All right. Yeah. Once again, thanks again. We appreciate it. We'll have you back soon.
Thank you for having me.
Anything else you want to say on the way out?
Go Tears. Roll Tears.
Roll
There you
Tears.
go.
Wagons out.
Wagons out.